Hi, my name is Michelle, and I teach yoga to the students at the high school. Thank you so much for inviting me to do this 30-minute video for your Mental Health Week. Delighted. I hope that you enjoy it. It might be useful to find something to sit on. You can see that I've got my little cushion here. So if you have a cushion from your sofa or a book or something, you might grab it to sit on. And it's also handy to have something warm to throw over you at the end. So just a jumper over your chest or the blanket off your sofa. Those are pretty handy objects. I'm going to keep this simple, but it's important that you look after yourself. So just making an effort to find your edge in the posture and then maybe backing off a little bit. So it's not really about pushing through the posture or working really hard. It's more about focusing on the breath. And the thing about the breath is it's the single most important factor in regulating our stress responses. So let's focus on the breath and get a little yoga done. Go ahead and come to sit however you like. So for most of us, sitting cross-legged can be challenging. So if you want to sit cross-legged, if that works for you, brilliant. If it doesn't work for you, it can be easier to sit with your feet together and your knees falling away from each other. And that allows us to get some length into the spine and to soften around the shoulders. So finding your own way into a seat that works for you. And then take a moment here now to close the eyes if that feels comfortable. If it feels awkward, just cast your eyes downward so that you can turn your focus inward. And then bring your awareness to your body. Dropping your focus out of your head and right down into your seat. And then noticing how the pelvis supports the length in the spine and the head floating on top. Notice if there are any thoughts in the head. So there might be sort of things going around, frustrations or discomfort. Or maybe it's just kind of an easygoing day and there's nothing really pressing in your mind. So just noticing what's here. And then noticing if there are any emotions associated with those thoughts. So whatever you've discovered, we're just going to take that information now and turn toward the breath. So turn your focus inward and begin to sense the body breathing. See if you can feel the air coming all the way in the nostrils, down the back of the throat and into the belly. And then turning around and coming back out again. Making an effort to aim and sustain your attention on a full cycle of breath. All the way in and all the way out again. Imagine you could send the breath down into your kidneys, filling the back body and the side body. Taking complete breaths and following them all the way to empty. Just a few more times now. Broad, deep breath in. Long, smooth, relaxed breath out. Now allowing your breath awareness to move into the background, bringing the body into the foreground, and noticing any sensations in the body. So if there are areas that feel tense or uncomfortable, becoming aware of them now. checking in with your posture, and then softly opening your eyes and returning your focus to the group. Let's do a few little movements from here. So as long as you're comfortable in this seat, we're going to stay as you are. Again, change your leg position if it's helpful to you. So that might help you to feel more comfortable upright. Wherever you've decided to sit, let's lift those arms up. So ground into your seat and lift up through your arms. Lace your fingers and then push the heels of the palms up towards the ceiling. Relax your shoulder blades. So we're not crunching the ears or tightening anything, but we're just reaching into our sit bones and at the same time up through the heels of the hands. Keep both of those sit bones equally grounded and lean over to the right side, stretching the left side of your body. Inhale as you float back up to center. And now let's go the other way. So leaning over towards the left, both sit bones staying grounded on the mat and stretching the right side of your body. And then again, bring yourself back up to center. As you exhale, turn your body to the left and let's take the left hand behind us and the right hand in front. Gently give yourself a little twist to look over your left shoulder. Practice breathing into your back, accordion-like breaths, really wide breaths. And as you inhale, come back to center, floating the arms back up again like goalposts, and then going in the opposite direction. Right hand comes behind, left hand in front, gently guiding yourself around to look over your shoulder. And again, practicing those wide breaths. And let's come back again one more time, arms up high in the air, reaching through your arms like goalposts. And then let's let them float back behind us. So the arms are going to float back behind us. We're going to interlace the fingers here, draw the arms down long, lift the chest up. And then you might start to raise the arms up a little bit. So you'll feel the chest begin to broaden as you raise your arms up a small bit here. Keep the breath wide. Try not to force anything. And breathe into whatever feels tight or tense to you. We'll release the arms now and roll the shoulders around. So noticing the heat that we brought into this part of the body. Maybe noticing a little bit of tenderness if there's tension here. Or maybe there's just a bit of ease now that we've loosened things up. And let's roll on hands and knees now. So move your cushion out of your way. And coming up onto your hands and knees. Spread the hands down into the mat, take the knees beneath the hips. And with an exhale, curl your spine up like a cross cat. Release your head down. Inhale, send the tail back. Soften the belly towards the floor. Let the heart slide forward and look up. And exhale again into cat. Inhaling. Cow belly posture, opening up the chest. Exhaling, curling into cat, toning at the abdomen. Inhaling. Cow belly. And exhaling. Cat. And then come back to neutral. So neutral just means a tabletop position. Wrists are shoulder distance apart, knees are hips distance apart. We're going to turn the toes under here and very slightly lift the knees up off the floor. So push back into the heels, let the knees come up about 2 inches. It's a good amount of work, so keep breathing into this. Take your weight all the way out to the pads of your fingers, so your whole hand is supporting you. Practice those accordion-like breaths. And then we'll bring the knees back down to the mat. Notice the heat in your body. Take a breath. And this time we're going to do that again, but we're going to push into downward facing dog. So knees are soft, push back into the heels, feel all of those engagements from before. And now this time, press back into your seat. Keep the spine long here. So you're really rooting into the hands. Feet are hips distance apart. Pressing into the floor, reaching up through your sit bones. Keep those knees bent enough that you have a nice long spine here. Maybe even check in with your neck by nodding your head yes or no. And if you're feeling pretty comfortable with the spine here, you might gently start to try one leg at a time, gently pushing one heel into the floor, and then the other. Just easing into the backs of the legs and treating our bodies with a sense of exploration. So without forcing anything, just kind of investigating what's going on in the legs today. Now after this little left side push, we're going to come back into stillness. Many of us are going to have bent knees in downward facing dog. That's going to enable us to have more length in the spine, and the spine is your priority. Come forward into plank. Plank is a press-up position. So bringing yourself into plank, and this can also be a kneeling plank. So if you want it to be a little bit simpler today, kneeling plank, high plank if you feel like working harder. Keep breathing those wide breaths, feeling the heat in the body. Now the easiest way down is to put your knees down first. Send your chest way past your fingertips. Keep lifting your belly and then bend at the elbows and lower like a press up, chaturanga. Come onto your belly now and bring your forehead to the mat. Bring the legs together unless you have back pain. Ground the tops of the feet and lengthen through your tail. Now if your back feels sore, take your feet so they're hips distance apart instead. Engage your abdomen here, push into your feet and lift your chest. Baby cobra, allowing the shoulder blades to stay on the back and still moving in those wide breaths. As you exhale, make your way back again into downward facing dog with your knees bent. Reach up high into your sit bones, folding into your thighs. Relax your neck and your jaw. Smooth, even breath. And let's come forward again. And this time when you come forward, put your right knee down on the floor and step your left foot in between the hands. Come up to the tips of your fingers here and lift the chest. So that right knee is over the right ankle. We're lifting the heart, relaxing the shoulders. And as you exhale now, we're going to turn the left toes under and push back into that left heel. Coming up into a high lunge. Keep breathing those wide breaths. And then exhale, hands down to the mat. Step back again into plank. Again, make it a kneeling plank if that feels better to you. Staying in a high plank when you want to work harder. And we're going to lower the chest again. Chaturanga. Pull those elbows into the waist. Lower all the way to the floor. Let's leave the legs hips distance apart this time. And now grounding through the soles of the feet, or the tops of the feet rather. Inhale, lift the chest, slide the shoulder blades down the back. And if it feels okay, we're going to push off the floor, push into the hands, push into the feet, lifting all the way up off the mat and lifting the chest, looking up. Exhale, back again into downward facing dog. And now step forward with the left foot. Again, you can put the right knee down to get your left foot where you want it. Right in between the hands, knee directly over the ankle, and then push back through your right heel and come up into a high lunge. Again, breathing wide. The breath is the most important thing. And then exhale to step forward. And we're going to bring the feet together. Soften into your knees. Again, it's more important to have the spine feel free than to have the legs straight. So we're going to fold in. Some of us might hug the calf muscles. Some of us might just hold on to elbows and hang. Follow the exhales all the way to empty. Lengthening on the in-breath and softening on the out-breath. And then let the arms go, kind of hanging like a rag doll, and slowly roll yourself up to stand. And bringing yourself into a standing posture. We're going to take the feet now so that they're 4 feet apart. And take the hands to the hips. We're going to turn the right toes away and turn the left toes in for triangle. So doing what you can to square your hips forward, but without forcing anything. That right knee is a little bit soft, and we're going to start to slide the right hand down towards the right leg. Try not to lock this knee. Coming all the way down below the knee if that works in your body. Left hand is on the left hip, roll the shoulder back. Reach up with your left arm, and if it feels okay to look up at your left thumb, do. If that feels awkward on your neck, look straight forward instead. And you can travel down that leg as much as you like, but let's not let this become a forward bend. We want to stay in a really nice open twist. Ground your feet, float yourself back up to stand, put your hands on your hips. We're going to bend this right knee now. So bending the right knee, and we're setting up for warrior 2. Right knee comes over the right ankle, left heel pitches away slightly, ground both feet, and lift the lower abdomen. Extend through the arms, looking out over your right fingertips. And again, we're breathing those wide breaths, working back through that left heel and sensing the ball of your right foot. We're going to take the right forearm to the right thigh, and the left arm comes up and overhead. Again, there's a really nice open twist here, so trying not to roll forward, but to roll your chest open towards the ceiling instead. Maybe even looking up underneath your bicep. Don't forget about your left leg. That left leg is still strong. And now grounding the feet, we're going to float back into warrior 2. Straighten your right leg, put your hands on your hips, pivot on your heels, so turn the right toes forward, and now turn those left toes out. Once again, we have a wide stance, about 4 feet between the feet, trying to avoid locking the left knee. And then gently tipping your pelvis out over your left leg. So that right heel pitches away, grounding into the right heel, sliding the hand down so it comes just above or just below the knee. Roll this right shoulder back now and reach up right arm, turning to look up if that's okay for your neck. Breathing wide. And now grounding the feet. Again, we're going to float back into our upright posture and then bend this left knee. Arms extended, shoulders relaxed, breath is moving freely in the body. Keep breathing those accordion-like breaths. And then bring your left forearm to your left thigh. And the right arm comes up and over, reaching through the whole right side of the body. Breathing. Turning the gaze to beneath the bicep if you have your balance, and if your neck is comfortable. And then ground your feet, and again, let's float ourselves back up. Warrior two. Soft gaze over the left fingertips. Standing up with your left leg, bring your hands to your hips, turn both sets of toes to face forward. So softening now into the backs of the knees. You may bend the knees a lot, or they might just be a little bit soft. Take the elbows back behind you. Draw the belly in. So try to avoid leading with your rib cage. Try to lead with your collarbones. So the elbows come back and we're folding forward and breathing wide breaths. Hinging at the hips now. Bring your hands down to the floor or to a prop if you have one. So you can rest your hands on books or a cushion or even on the sofa. And as you exhale, folding all the way in here, coming down to release your head down and relax your neck. Lengthening the spine and softening on the out breath. And feeling the backs of the legs broadening. You're going to walk the hands forward again and lift the chest. And now leave this right hand on the floor just beneath the heart. Putting the left hand on the left hip. And now turning your body to the left. Reaching up with the left arm. Both feet equally grounded, pelvis is level. Twisting from your middle. And now bring that left hand back to the mat. Right hand on the right hip. Roll your shoulder back. Both feet again stay equally grounded. You can use that right hand to check to see is your pelvis level. And then reach up with your right arm. And again, we're going to fold forward now, coming all the way back to the mat. Roll halfway up, fix your gaze on something. Bring your hands to your hips, and then bring yourself up to stand again. Brilliant. We're going to do one more thing here. So if you're confident in your balance, we're going to lace the fingers behind us. If you're feeling like you might just fall over today, instead, you can leave your hands on your hips and repeat what we just did. Extend the arms into a T. Lace the fingers behind you. Stretch the arms down long. Again, toning at the tummy, draw your ribs in. Let's lead with the collarbones. Hinge at the hips, fold forward. And then bring your head right down and let the arms come up and overhead also. Releasing the weight of the arms and allowing for the shoulders to stretch as well as the legs. The spine is long, the neck is long, and the breath is even in the body. Now we're going to use our arms like levers and take your hands back towards your sacrum, floating yourself all the way back up to stand. And then release the arms, and we'll bring the hands back to the hips, and we'll bring the legs back together again. So coming back now to sit on the floor, either on a prop or just on your mat, whatever works best for you, or off your mat, as the case may be. So bring yourself now to sit, and come up to sit tall. Relax your shoulders. So taking a breath and now noticing how the body feels sitting. And we're going to extend the legs out in front of us just a little bit so that the feet now are together, the knees are nice and wide. We're going to come up to sit tall. And the sit bones are equally grounded, and there's a long diamond shape in between the knees. So sitting right up onto your sit bones, lean forward and put your hands between your knees. Slowly, we're going to start to find our way down to the floor. Maybe the elbows come to the floor. And then bowing in here, let your head come down. Continue breathing those wide breaths into the back. And then rolling up slowly, coming back up to sit tall. And we're going to stretch the legs out. Come off of your prop. And then let's come to lie on the back when you're ready for bridge. So we're lying back now, feet on the floor, about hips distance apart. And take your arms down by your sides. Check that your ankles are just beneath your knees so that you have a good alignment in your legs for support. And then when you're ready, push into your feet and lift your hips up high. Keep grounding into your feet, opening up at the chest. If you have back pain, maybe stop halfway. If you're feeling good about what you're doing, really opening up at the chest. And then slowly coming down, one vertebra at a time, sensing into the abdomen as you release your back to the floor. And once you find yourself down on the ground again, let's hug the knees into the chest. Some of us might like pulling the knees a little wider, so the knees can come straight in or they can kind of go over towards your armpits. Sort of feeling the low back flatten into the floor, and then maybe giving yourself a little rocking motion here. Kind of massaging the back, maybe a little circular motion if that feels good. Doing whatever feels nice. And then we're going to extend the legs now along the mat and prepare for relaxation. So if you have back pain when your legs are straight on the floor, what you might do is pop something underneath you, underneath your knees. And that can be helpful. I'm going to take the arms out by your sides, palms facing upward, and start to allow your body to soften. If it's comfortable to close the eyes, close the eyes. And we'll spend the next few minutes here in relaxation. So as your body comes into stillness, allow the body to soften. And turn the focus back to that natural wave-like motion of the breath, just feeling the breath coming and going. Complete breaths, and with every exhale, really surrendering into the floor. And you might notice that the mind becomes busy when the body becomes quiet. So we'll just notice when thoughts carry us off. And when we become aware that we've gotten caught up in a story, or into the future, what's coming next, or into the past, going over memories, we just become aware and we bring the focus back to our anchor. In this case, it's the breath. So coming back to the feeling of the breath. And that's relevant all the time, not just in relaxation. No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, what you're feeling, you can always ground yourself and feel your breath. That brings us right into the present. Noticing all the points at which the body is in contact with the floor. And then taking your awareness down through your legs and all the way out to the soles of the feet. Sensing into the heels and the backs of the legs, the pelvis, backs of the arms, and the back of the head. All the points of contact between your body and the floor. And now softening across the hip bones and the collarbones. Part your teeth and relax your jaw. And totally surrender your body into the floor. Turning your focus back to the natural breath coming and going in that wave-like motion. And when you're ready now, we'll slowly begin to deepen the breath. And gently begin to stretch your body awake as if it were first thing in the morning. Just kind of stretching your arms and your legs and maybe pulling those knees back into the chest. Whatever feels nice to you now. And then rolling onto one side or just rocking yourself back straight up to sit. We're going to come back into a seated posture. Bring the head to balance on top of the spine. And just taking a few moments here, sitting upright, and noticing the effects of the practice. Going to bring the palms together at the heart center and fold forward, sealing the benefits of the practice. Thank you so much for playing. I hope to see you at school in September. Take care.